This is Josh Paul, Community Manager for Pods. Today I'm going to be talking about Pods Pages, which is our solution for showing content from an advanced content type. Advanced content type, as we've covered in the last screencast, is outside of the regular WordPress post table, so we're not able to show it using the regular WordPress template hierarchy like we would with any other content type. Now, just to show you exactly what I mean, I have this new spaceships pod here. It's an advanced content type. It's a few different ships from the Star Wars Expanded Universe. I thought we needed a break from looking at pictures of my cute pets, no matter how adorable they are. This new pod, you'll notice here, I've got my edit and my other options. I don't have a view option because we haven't set up a way to handle the URL mapping for that. So if we go to our pods editor, go to spaceships. Note that the name for this is spaceship, singular. That's going to be important. For instance, we go to advanced options. We're going to set up the detail page URL. This is the first step for mapping the URL. So we're going to use the pod name, spaceship. It's going to be important that we use exactly the name that it is known by in WordPress, so that way when we use the segments of the URL in a little bit to create the URLs with our URL mapping, that we can use the pod name as one of the variables. And then the second part will be the permalink field from the advanced content type. Of course, that's a dynamic value, but we can use a special magic tag here. Use @permalink. So that'll get the permalink field and drop it in right there. Save the pod, and now let's go back to the editor. And you'll notice that we have this view option. Open that up. Now, WordPress is confused because I haven't gone through and set up a pods page, and it's showing me the attachment page for this image that I added for Millennium Falcon. What we're going to do now is go in and create both this detail page for Millennium Falcon, and we're going to create a list page. So that'll show up here at Spaceship. We want to get rid of this 404. Now, the first thing that you have to do is create templates in your WordPress theme. I have already gone ahead and done this. You can go into the example code that's listed in the description of this video and kind of paste these out as a good start. This is going to be my Spaceship single page, but let's start with the list page. This is my list page. This is a pretty standard loop. What I need to do to get started, though, is to build the pods object. And the first argument is the pod name. I just type that right in Spaceship. And then because this is a list page, I can just go ahead and create a number that I want to show on each page with limit 3. And then at the bottom, I will use pods pagination to output a very nice looking pagination. One thing to note that this is just like any WordPress page template that you're used to, where we have to go up at the top and in the meta area, type template name and then give it a name. So let's go ahead and set up a pods page. Pods pages, just like advanced content type, is a component that you'll need to activate from the component screen. I've got advanced content types active, and I've got pages active in order to make this work. So let's go ahead and create our list page. Now this is the URL here, this first field. This is very important. This is what we want to go after our domain name. So we want Spaceship. Page title, we can just go ahead and enter a static value because this is our detail page. Because this is not our detail page, this is our list page. When we do the detail page, we'll use a magic tag there to get one of the fields. Now we'll just say spaceships. Now page code, we could use to create the code for the page. It's not a great system. I prefer to write code in my IDE, not in a text field, and in the WordPress backend itself. Page pre-code, we're going to skip for now, but that's code that's going to run before the template is output. That's going to be really useful for doing our meta tags and other SEO stuff in the next screencast, which is about pods pages SEO. Now we do need to set page template. We'll set that to ships. That's right here, what we named this template. Any named template's going to show up there. And we'll associate it with the spaceships pod. Publish that. Now if we refresh this, we see the list page for our spaceships pod. As you can see, Pods Pages has handled the domain mapping, so that way we have our domain name and then spaceship. Now, if we click on one of these, as I showed you before, we've set up the only part of the way where it knows what domain to use, but we haven't gone in and created a Pods page for this single view. Now, if we go back to my IDE for a second and I show you this template, there's some different stuff going on here. Just, this is spaceship single. And two things we're doing here. One, we can't just say pods equals pods spaceship because we need to also specify which item it is. Now we need to do that dynamically so that way it can work for all of them. For that, we're going to use the permalink field. We're going to get it in a variable using pods v, which has a lot of cool modes, but one is URL. So we can just tell it, get the last segment of the URL. That would be this right here. Make that the slug. And where I could right here replace this with spaceship, I just want to show you that these are actually reusable if we get the name for different pods, if we have lots of advanced content types, different ones in our site. We can actually get that dynamically by setting pod name in a variable, just using the first segment, first being 0 URL from pods v, right? 0. And then I'm taking this a little bit farther. I could do a similar loop like I did here, where I created some variables based on the fields, and then I outputted them into this modified version of 2013's content type, content part, excuse me. Instead, for this one, what I'm doing is I'm outputting a template of the same name. Now, I could do echo pods template just like that, and then put spaceship there. Now, that makes me a little nervous, especially if I start using this for multiple advanced content types. What if there isn't a template of that name? That's why we're storing it in this variable temp, and then we just double check, is there a value set for that? If there's no pods template of the name that we've passed here, this is going to return false, and then we won't actually echo the template. We'll get nothing, but we won't get an error. Pretty good. So I've gone ahead and used just a regular pods template for this. Sorry, wrong one. Just to show you that, this allows us to use our magic tags just like we are used to. It's a great way of working. Some HTML markup, some magic tags. I'm outputting my picture tag field here, type of the ship, make a ship, model, the corresponding fields. It's already ready to go. What we haven't done here is gone ahead and created this single page. So spaceship. Again, we're trying to recreate this URL structure. So spaceship / and then we'll use a star. Now that star is what's called our wildcard slug. Pods Pages is going to automatically replace that with this segment of the URL. How does it do that? Well, we come down here to associated pod and we set it to spaceship and asks us what is our wildcard slug. Well, we can use a special magic tag here again, URL 2. URL.2, sorry, and that will get us the very last segment of our URL. Now let's go through and make sure that we set the right page template. And for page title, this time I want to use a dynamic value, so I'll use the magic tag name. Publish this. And when we refresh this, this is the pods template that you are looking for. This corresponds to the one that I showed you before. It's being loaded just the way we like it. So what I've accomplished here is I've gone from having no way of showing my advanced content type to now I have this single detail view page. And I have this list page. It's showing 3 items because remember I set my limit to 3. We could go ahead and change that, say, to 4. Now I have 4 ships. I have my pagination here because I have 5 total values, so I can click on next. We go there, we see TIE Fighter, first, previous. That's just using the pods pagination method down here. Very straightforward. So that concludes this screencast. In the next screencast, I will be showing you how to handle your SEO fields, your meta description, meta title, open graph tags, those sorts of things. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel for that and other Pods how-to videos. Thanks for listening.